Hi, I'm Julia from Armenia.
Tamunia from Georgia.
Nargis from Kyrgyz Republic.
Aygul from Kyrgyz Republic.
Anastasia from Belarus.
Lilith from Armenia. I lectured at the American University. I specialize in data protection and freedom of information, and I also work for the government.
I work in the field of environmental protection. I'm an environmental lawyer as well as I run my own environmental NGO.
I'm TV producer for private TV channel. I produce documentaries and social commercials.
I'm an artist, and also we have a design platform, Dilden, and also we have a project how to find your mission and yourself. That's all as a trainer.
I teach public policy analysis at the University of Georgia. I also provide policy advice to our government on the topics of citizen participation, women empowerment, youth development, and others.
I study at the University of Glasgow, Masters in Public Policy, specializing in urban policy.
So what's the greatest thing about women in your country?
Greatest thing in Armenia, we have a lot of bright and beautiful women who are empowered and motivated to bring a change and to be change makers in Armenia.
The greatest thing, I think, is that we have a great potential to do great things and accomplish great things in our country.
All around the world, so in Kyrgyz Republic also we have many beautiful, strong and smart women and girls who want to be the change. By many, I guess, centuries, people said that we need to stay at home and do our homework and so on. Yes, of course we need to do this, but we have right and we have talents to improve ourselves and show our personal qualities, talents, and everything, and our intelligence and so on. So that's why I guess this is one of the huge challenge to believe to yourself and to show yourself to the world.
But unfortunately, we have still bride kidnapping in Kyrgyzstan, so we try to fight this problem. It means that if the guy you don't know can just kidnap you, just steal you, you can walk down the street. And if he likes you, he just takes you and he can just take you and just to bring you to his home.
Now it's illegal.
Yeah, it's a crime, but we still have these cases, unfortunately.
So I feel like it's like new right now stream. We have new generation of women who are more strong, who are energetic, so who are brave as well. So the greatest challenge, I feel like in all post-Soviet Union countries, women usually are sitting at home, raising their babies. So we don't have previously opportunity to be who we are, So I feel like it's the biggest challenge right now to prove that what we can do, so to do what we really want to do.
As for Armenia, I would like to speak about women living in rural areas and urban areas separately. In rural areas, the challenges that they face are mostly lack of access to information, the mentality, because they are taught that they are born to bear children, to bring them up and to take care of household. As for urban areas, I think we have lack of trust towards women, and this also comes to explain the difference in salaries between female and male population in cities in Armenia.
I think we talk about giving equal opportunities to women, and this is something that our government has been working on, and with the support of international donor organizations, of course, and there are so many policies already developed and written. The letter of these policies are kind of perfect, I would say, perfect in terms of really giving all the rights and that women deserve to have. However, in practice, this is an issue, kind of enforcing those policies on a realistic life basis is really difficult in Georgia. And I think policies can be changed, and the letter can be different, letter of the law can be different. But if we don't change the mentality of the society, if we don't change attitudes toward women, if we don't change our predefined roles, what we think women should play in the society, then no policies will help.
And if we don't change this telephone.
Yeah, this is mine, so that's why unfortunately I need to.
In most of our countries, we don't have law or regulation that hinders women to go to politics or work in the public sector. But in reality, we have a low number of women, which means that either they lack the capacity of working or being in the high rank position, or they are not motivated enough, or there are other things on the table that we can't see, and this should be analyzed thoroughly and just addressed by both society and policymakers.
Police, we had a terrible case last year when the girl was kidnapped first and then she was killed in the police office actually by this guy who kidnapped her. This is the second great problem. Yes, so
I just felt so bad just hearing this story. I don't want even to imagine how it was, but I think this is again comes to the implementation, because in countries like ours, quite often we adopt lots of laws that are similar to the European standards, that are synchronized with the West, with best practices in the world. But unfortunately, in reality, what we see that the mindset and the mentality of the people don't change. And if they don't change, we can't just by adopting a law change the reality and make the life of women easier.
You asked about what about police, right? These are policemen, males who don't believe in those type of things. Like in Georgia, for example, we now do have a law about sexual harassment, and we do have a law about violence in the family against women. However, there have been so many cases reported by women when they called for police, when police didn't even believe to their stories or treated them badly or poorly. So it's definitely mentality and attitudes.
Going back to the question of civil society and the government and gap between their activities that they are doing, it's, I think, the case in most of our countries, and our governments failing to face most of the policies or some of them. Civil society and us are becoming the other pillar of bringing the state forward. So it's the issue where at the local level, community level, see the problems with the small resources, we start the change, and at some point all this accumulates. In the longer term or shorter term, it brings the change.
To add that right now we have again the same problems with the civil society and government, but civil society become more strong and strong from the years, and we see that right now there are a lot of communities like in Kyrgyzstan that can support. We're talking today about ladies, about women, but they can support different social idea and move it into reality. So just show the government how it can work. So again, thanks to different international supports, we have an opportunity to show best world practices to the government, and after that they can implement these practices in their policies.
Just to add, and the role of media is very important in this situation. Yeah, we have to raise these questions, this problem, day by day, again and again, in order to change something more or less free when you work in private TV channel, in private TV stations and companies. So in state TV channel, of course, there is a censorship, so you cannot cover everything you want.
Basically, you hear all the praise in the government-owned media and all the criticism in the private.
I guess that in the Kyrgyz Republic, if we will compare with the other countries in Central Asia, we have more freedom to say something. And there's different issues was on Facebook when we gathered our voices together to say something about, I don't know, about violence against women or something else, and we have influence to government, and government listen us and do some, some actions to do, to be in harmony with what people say on the Facebook, because this is a really great power here in Kyrgyzstan, and we feel this freedom, and I hope that we will continue to work on different themes, and of course bright mapping too. So, and I hope that it will change, so step by step.
Well, I always look up to American women as role models of promoting equality in the US, and Me Too campaign, for example, has been an inspiration for me personally and for other women in Georgia and for other campaigns in Georgia as well. So what I see now is just a little bit changing trend, and maybe I'm wrong, but as an outsider, that's what I see, and I'm kind of afraid that US will at some point stop being a role model for me. And I hope it's not going to happen, but please, American women, please do continue your fight, because we are here and you are our role models.
I know that US has always been a role model for freedoms in any aspect for lots of countries, especially the countries that we come from. And unfortunately, the speed is becoming slower and slower. And what I know now, that all the women in the world, they have the same problems. So I think we need to continue to do our bits in our respective countries, just to be united, and then I'm sure that we will obtain our objective.
On March 8th, we will celebrate, of course. It's our day, so we will talk about women's rights in Kyrgyzstan in our morning program, in our talk shows for sure, and in the evening probably we will gather with my colleagues, with my friends, yes, and just we'll talk and have a nice evening.
In Armenia, usually it's one of the best and festive events, and unfortunately, it's the only day men give flowers or gifts. Hopefully, Women's Day won't be just this one day, and this will be just the day to raise awareness how women are important in our lives.
On March 8th, I have a class, and I will go and share about the freedoms with my students, most of whom are female, and I'll end up my day celebrating by myself the promising future of all the female population.
And in Belarusia?
So we have day off, by the way. So we are very lucky celebrating this day. So then, of course, we will speak about how strong women are. So and of course, we will receive flowers, sweets, and gifts from the guys. But I think it's also very good to have kind of this holidays again to speak about a woman, to understand how important it is what we are doing. So we will celebrate.
Well, yes, definitely I will go out with my female friends, and of course we'll celebrate, and just gossip a lot, and talk about women's stuff, of course. But besides that, we will also encourage each other to be stronger, be more courageous, and have more accomplishments for the next International Women's Day.
Happy Women's Day!